If you're active on LinkedIn, but you're not seeing the results that you would expect, if you find that you're posting consistently, but you're not attracting premium clients, and you're engaging, but you're not building authority and putting in the effort, but just not getting that return, there's really a good chance that you're making one of more than 5 critical mistakes. And here's the frustrating part, is the fact that these mistakes are quite subtle. So you don't necessarily realize that you're actually making them, but if you are, you're sabotaging your LinkedIn presence because they'll be undermining your authority and then repelling the exact clients that you're trying to attract. So throughout the course of this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 LinkedIn mistakes that are sabotaging your authority. And for each mistake, I'll show you exactly what it looks like, why it's a problem, and ultimately how you can go about fixing it. And it's the same mistakes that I see coaches and consultants making every single day. But by fixing them, you can actually transform your LinkedIn results almost overnight. And it's the same mistakes that I've had to avoid to eventually get me to a point where I built a following of over 55,000 followers on the platform with over 10 million impressions in the last year alone. You can also see here an example, one of our accounts with over 70 million impressions, again, throughout the course of the last year or so. And one of our clients that we scaled to over 4,000 truly true followers in just a 30-day span. So we can see that this works. But let's dive into the first mistake, which is the fact that you can have a generic profile that basically says nothing. And this is a very, very common mistake that I see on LinkedIn. And here's what this could look like in practice. A generic headline might just say marketing consultant helping businesses grow. And a generic about section that's just a vague description of what you do with no real specificity about who you serve or what outcomes you delivered. And then also having no featured section as a part of that. So nothing showcasing your actual results, no case studies or any kind of social proof. Now, the reason why this is a problem is because when someone lands on your profile, they basically have about 3 seconds to decide if this is actually relevant to them. And if your profile is generic, they can't tell who you serve or what problem you solve or why they should really care. They end up going to just leaving, and then you've lost a potential client. So the fix for this is to rewrite your headline using the outcome formula. So instead of marketing consultant helping businesses grow, try instead, I help B2B SaaS companies generate qualified leads on LinkedIn without cold outreach. And obviously you would tailor this to your own particular market or niche or segment. So can you see the difference there? Really, the second headline tells exactly who you serve, what outcome you deliver, and what pain point that you actually solve, right? Now, for fix number 2, the second way of going about it is to also rewrite your about section using the problem solution proof framework. So the problem would be to call out the specific pain point that your ideal client is experiencing. The solution would be to explain how you solve that problem. And then the proof would be to share results, case studies, or credentials that demonstrate that you can actually deliver. Now, the third fix as a part of this is to use your featured section to showcase social proof. So you want to add case studies, testimonials, or posts that demonstrate your expertise and your results. So what this would look like in practice, let's say that again, you're a LinkedIn consultant, your old headline would say LinkedIn consultant helping professionals grow, but your new headline says I help coaches and consultants to attract high ticket clients on LinkedIn without paid ads. Your about section uses the problem solution proof approach, and then your featured section will showcase 3 relevant case studies. Now, what you'll find is once you've done all of this, when someone lands on your profile, they immediately know who you serve, what you deliver, and why they should trust you. And that then becomes the fix for mistake number 1. So now let's move on to mistake number 2, which is posting without a clear strategy. And this is why most people post consistently, but they don't actually build any authority. Because here's what this would look like. You just post basically whatever comes to mind. Like one day you're posting about productivity, the next day you're posting about mindset, and then the weekend, and there's no real consistency, no focus, and no clear positioning. And the reason why this is a problem is because when your content is all over the place, people can't figure out what you actually stand for. They can't really figure out what you're even an expert in, and they just won't then see you as an authority. They'll just see you as someone who posts random thoughts. So here's the fix for that. Really, you want to define your content pillars. So choose 5 to 7 core topics that you're going to talk about repeatedly. And these should align with your expertise and your ideal client's challenges. So example content pillars for a LinkedIn consultant like myself would be LinkedIn profile optimization, and then LinkedIn content strategy, engagement tactics, lead gen, mindset, case studies, mistakes to avoid. All of these could form a part of my core topics. Now, the fix The second fix as a part of this mistake is to rotate these content pillars. So every post should fall into one of the pillars. This then creates consistency and will position you as an expert in those particular areas. And the third fix is to use a content mix. So rotate between different content types. So you can have a tactical post, which is where you teach something actionable. You can have a case study post where you share a client result. You can have a perspective post, which is where you share your unique point of view, and a story post where you share personal experiences. So what this would look like in practice for myself as a LinkedIn consultant is you define your 7 content pillars. So every Monday you'd post a tactical post about one of your pillars. Every Wednesday you'd then post a case study post. And every Friday you'd post a perspective post. So now your content is focused, it's much more consistent and strategic. And then over time, people will recognize you as the LinkedIn expert. So that's the fix for mistake number 2. Just stop posting randomly and start posting strategically. Now, the third mistake is pitching too early. And this is the fastest way to repel potential clients, especially on LinkedIn. So here's what this would look like. You find that someone accepts your connection request within minutes. You then end up sending a DM pitching your services. Or you comment on someone's post and your comment is thinly veiled. It's like self-promotion. And then every post that you write ends with DM me if you want to buy this, you know. And the reason why this is a problem is because people on LinkedIn are just tired of being pitched. I mean, people in general are tired of just being pitched without really taking the time to build value or build some trust. Because when you pitch too early, you can come across as a bit desperate, a bit transactional and self-serving. And that can repel the exact people you're trying to attract. So here's the fix. First of all, just lead with value and not pictures. So when you connect with someone, send a value first message, reference something specific about them, like ask about their challenge or offer a quick insight. Just don't pitch. So an example could be, hey, name, I came across your profile and noticed you're focused on topic. I'm curious, what's been your biggest challenge with problem, right? Now, the second fix that you can approach for this mistake is to engage before you pitch. So before you reach out with a DM, engage with their content for 1 to 2 weeks. Leave some thoughtful comments, build a bit of familiarity. Then when you do reach out, you're not a stranger. You're actually going to be someone that they're going to recognize. And the third fix for this mistake is to use the 4-message DM framework. So the first message is a value first opener where you'd ask about their challenge. In the second message, you'd deliver value, so you'd share a quick insight. The third message, you deepen the conversation by asking a clarification question. And in the fourth message, you then invite them to a call. And you can frame it as helpful, not as salesy. So in practice, let's say you connect with an ideal client. Instead of pitching immediately, you send them a value first message asking about their challenge. They then respond, and then you share a quick actionable insight. They then engage. You then ask a qualifying question. They'll respond to that, and then you invite them to a call. And you just frame that call as a helpful conversation without a pitch, just value and relationship building. So for mistake number 3, it's really to stop pitching too early and more so focus on starting to build relationships. Now, mistake number 4 is inconsistent posting. And this is why most people never really build momentum on LinkedIn. Now, what this could look like is that you might post every day for 2 weeks and then you disappear for a month and then you post a few more times and you disappear again. And there's just no consistency with no predictability and then ultimately no momentum. Now, the reason why this is a problem is because authority is actually built through repetition. When you show up consistently over time, people will start to recognize your name, they'll start to trust in your expertise, and they'll think of you whenever they actually need help. But when you're inconsistent, you never build that recognition. You're basically starting from zero every single time that you post. So the fix for this is to commit to a sustainable posting frequency. You don't need to post every day. You just need to post consistently. So choose a frequency that you can maintain long term. I like to start really with 3 posts per week on a Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday, and that will get you into a rhythm and a flow. The second fix is to batch create your content. So set aside an hour and a half to 2 hours each week to create all of your content for the week. And this will eliminate daily decision fatigue and make the consistency much more effortless. The third fix is to schedule your posts in advance. So use LinkedIn's native scheduling feature or a tool like Buffer. Schedule your posts at the beginning of the week so you don't then have to think about it as the week goes on. And the fourth thing is to build some accountability. So track your posting streak, right? Set a goal, which is that you're going to post 3 times per week for 90 days and then hold yourself accountable. So in practice, let's say you commit to posting 3 times per week. Every Sunday, you'll spend that 90 minutes to 120 minutes batch creating 3 posts. You then schedule them for Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then for the next 12 weeks, you show up consistently. By the end of the 12 weeks, you'd have published 36 posts. People will have recognized your name and they'll trust your expertise, and then they'll reach out when they need help. So that's the real fixes for mistake number 4. Stop being inconsistent and start showing up predictably. Now, mistake number 5 is ignoring engagement. And this is a mistake that will really prevent you from turning your visibility into relationships and then ultimately clients. So what this would look like is you're posting content, but you're not engaging with other people's posts, or people comment on your post, but then you don't respond. Or you might even get DMs and then you're ignoring them or responding days later. Now, this is a problem because LinkedIn is really a relationship platform. So when you ignore engagement, you're really missing opportunities to build relationships, to demonstrate your expertise, and to get on the radar of your ideal clients. Because really you're treating LinkedIn like a broadcasting platform instead of a networking platform. So the fix for this is to use the 15-minute engagement system. Spend 15 minutes per day engaging strategically. So 5 minutes engaging with your ideal client's post, leave some thoughtful comments there. Then 5 minutes engaging with your authorities post, or authorities within your space. And then 5 minutes responding to comments on your own posts, right? And that's a great formula to use. The next fix is to respond to every comment on your post. So when someone takes the time to comment on your post, respond, right? Thank them, ask a follow-up question, or add to the conversation. This then deepens the relationship and it signals to the algorithm that your post is actually valuable. And the third fix is to respond to DMs within 24 hours. When someone responds or reaches out to you with a direct message, respond quickly. Even if it's just to acknowledge the message and let them know that you'll follow up. Responsiveness really builds trust, right? Now, the fourth fix is to then engage before you post. So spend 10 to 15 minutes engaging with other people's content before you post your own. And this will prime the algorithm and give you a much better opportunity for people to then counteract that. And so in practice, let's say you post a tactical post on Monday morning. Before you post, spend 10 minutes engaging with other people's content. After you post, you respond to every comment within the first hour. And then throughout the day, spend 15 minutes engaging with ideal clients and authorities within your space. By the end of the day, your posts are strong engagement, you've built relationships, and then you've gotten on the radar of your ideal clients. And that's the fix for mistake number 5. Basically, stop ignoring engagement and start building relationships. So if we're now to put all of this together, you've now got the 5 main LinkedIn mistakes that are really affecting or sabotaging your authority. The first one being a generic profile that says nothing. So the fix here is to rewrite that headline, the about section, and the featured section. The second mistake is posting without a clear strategy. So the fix is to define your 5 to 7 content pillars, rotate between them, and then use a content matrix and a mix of tactical posts, case study posts, perspective ones, and story posts as well. The third mistake is pitching too early. So really, again, you want to lead with value and engage before you pitch, and then use the 4-message DM framework that we covered early in the video. The fourth mistake is the inconsistent posting. So again, commit to 3 posts each week and batch create your content, then schedule it in advance and build accountability around that. And the fifth mistake is ignoring engagement. So use the 15-minute engagement system, respond to all comments and DMs within 24 hours, and then engage before you post. So what this would look like in practice for you is, if you wanted to spread this over a few weeks, the first week you could focus on fixing your profile, rewriting your headline about section, and adding case studies to your featured section. In your second week, you want to then define the content pillars and create that content calendar for the next 90 days. The third week, commit to posting 3 times per week and batch create your first week of content. And then the fourth week, you implement the 15-minute engagement system and start responding to every comment and DM. Now, if you do this within 30 days, your LinkedIn presence will really be transformed with a clear and compelling profile, much more strategic and focused content. You'll be building relationships instead of just pitching, and you'll be showing up consistently and engaging strategically. You can obviously time lapse that 4 weeks by doing it even in a matter of days, but at least it gives you some kind of framework that you can work towards. Once you've done that, you're going to be in a situation where you've got a profile that's converting much better, content that actually has authority, relationships that convert to clients, and that consistency will really compound for you so that your engagement really turns from visibility into revenue. And it's the exact same approach that I leverage from my own profile to get it to 55,000 followers organically with over 10 million impressions last year. And it's also driven over 100 million impressions for our clients and thousands of relevant followers within a really short period of time. So we know that this does work, but if you don't want help, it really accelerating your time to the result and having a system that can handle, optimize, optimizing your profile, your content, your engagement, and more. You'll need a full LinkedIn media engine to be behind and back your brand to really get it out to the masses in a completely done for you manner. So if you do want a free breakdown of what that actually looks like, more than happy to send that over. All I need you to do is comment the word mistakes below this video, and I'll send you a free breakdown of what it would look like to have a LinkedIn media engine behind your brand so that you can turbocharge your results, get a faster time towards clients that are actually going to pay you revenue and more. So if you do want that free breakdown sent over, comment the word mistakes below this video and we'll get that sent over to you immediately. Now, I hope that you found this video helpful and useful. If you did, please do like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video.